Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and this is going to be the first, well, it's week 2, but it's the first in a while that I've done the prediction video for NFL week predictions. I tried to do this all year now. Wasn't able to get the opening week, but we're going to do this. And I am bringing back the reigning 48, who used to do this with me a long time ago. Also, he's got the Spread the Wings podcast, so make sure to go check out if you like good wing reviews. So here's the reigning 48.
Thank you, Frank. Hopefully we can either do this live in person next week or either on Zoom. That way we can both be seen by the beautiful audience that is listening on your incredible channel. And if you're watching and not subscribed, why not? Subscribe to Frank. Subscribe to the SS Ultimate Goku. He is the ultimate Goku.
Yes.
As Frank alluded, I am the Randy 48. I am also known as Kyle Randy. I am a football analyst on the Fantasy Beasts and Where to Find Them Fantasy Football Podcast, and also a wing critique on Spread Those Wings Chicken Wing Podcast. But more importantly, Frank, I get to join you for the first time in 9 years to talk football, man. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great to do this again. Football's getting quite interesting, and it's very interesting time. So this, I think, would be the best time to come back and do this again. You know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so week 1 was quite interesting for both the teams we root for, but we get to analysts.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, but obviously the Thursday game. I don't know if you watched the Thursday game between the.
I did, man. I don't know how you feel about either of those teams. I actually think you and I both said we do like Washington this year.
Yeah, the
they
Washington.
They look pretty good coming back. I like Sarah Heineke, man. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's good. I think he should have been a starter. I think they were just kind of worried about him, but I think there's nothing really to worry about. The Washington, hopefully soon to be Red Wolves, getting the last-second field goal against the Giants.
Correct that. 2 last-second field goals after.
Yeah, because they missed the one. Missed the field goal and then got it after the offsides. Yes. So
I was even going to go back to Heineke throwing the interception to give the Giants the game.
Yeah, it was a back and forth game. So
listen, anybody who says that Thursday night football is not entertaining, go back and watch that game, because for the fact that everybody would normally call that 2 teams that no one cares about, I had a blast watching that game on Thursday.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game, I'd say. Hopefully we'll see more, but we'll see. So yeah, interesting game nonetheless. For the Giants and the Washington, or New York Giants and Washington. So here we go for the first prediction game, which actually, coincidentally, because I'm going off of Fox's list here, and coincidentally enough, they actually have the Bills game listed first. And so it is the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins at Miami. 1 o'clock game here.
Do you want to take it away, Frank? Let us know what you think first.
I think Buffalo's going to destroy them. I think the Dolphins are not a good team, and they're very rebuilding. They're still trying to find themselves with Tua, the quarterback. And I think the Bills should be 1-0 in my opinion. The Steelers were very soft in the game, but the Bills, the 4th down thing was stupid. They should have just had Allen sneak it. That changed the whole game. That play goes to Buffalo. I think Buffalo scores there. The Steelers don't get the touchdown, and I think the game is much different at the end there. So I think the Dolphins still rebuilding, still trying to figure themselves out, and I think the Bills are going to probably easily beat them. I think this game is going to be more lopsided. I don't think it's going to be a defensive struggled game between the 2 defenses like it was with the Bills and the Steelers. So I got Buffalo winning in a blowout.
So here's the thing. I think on the scoreboard at the end of the day, if you're not looking at, or if you're not watching the game, you're going to think it ended as a blowout. I think, however, Buffalo wins by 10-14, so it'll be 2 scores. But I think Miami's going to give them a tough game, man. Miami tends to play Buffalo tough through the first two quarters. Tua is a game manager. He's done everything right for offense, but he doesn't do anything to wow anybody. Their defense has been very good. I think until they can figure out a way to pick on solely Nick Needham at corner, that Buffalo's going to have a struggle fast through the first half. I think at the end of the day, they probably end up winning around like 30 to 17 maybe. But I think Buffalo pulls it out, but it's not as distant as it looks on the scoreboard. I think Miami plays them tight.
I think 24-7.
I like it. I'll take either of those as long as we can get back in the win column.
All right. So next we also they got just for kicks. The Bills are actually 3.5 favorites according to Fox at least.
And that sounds about right because I don't think it's going to be as close. I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as everybody thinks. So.
Yeah. So next on the list here, we got the LA Rams at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts struggled last week. Rams looked pretty good with Matthew Stafford. Stafford looked solid. Colts, like I thought, were going to struggle. And I have the Rams winning this game. Probably a 10-point swing. I'd probably put it at maybe 24-14 victory. If I'd have to guess there for a score.
Okay, so I guess here's the thing. And I know you're not a big fan of it. We're not going to get into the heavy debate on this. But here's the thing. The Carson Wentz debate last week, he didn't lose them the game. You had a line that was missing players. He got sacked 3 times. He still threw 250 yards and 2 touchdowns with missing one of his top receivers. And Michael Pittman was MIA. He should have had a day. The line didn't afford him much help either. Zach Pascal did all the work. I'm not going to say I'm going to pick the Colts here because I think the Rams are the real deal. But I do want to give a little bit of a nod here. I don't think Carson played bad last week. And let's be fair, Seattle's still got one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that shootout last week, they lose 28-16, and both touchdowns came from Carson's arm. It's not like he dumped them and made the running backs do the work. But no, I do agree. I think Matthew Stafford is the play of the week this week if you are a fantasy player. I think the Rams are going to be a very tough team to beat. I've heard people say it's going to be the Rams and the Bills in the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't go that far.
But Matthew Stafford brings a whole other direction. Everybody thought they overpaid for him, but they know that they're in a limited window. I'm going to go Rams here. I'm going to say it's closer than you did.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say it's probably like, I'll say 24-21 final Rams.
24-20 final? Oh, wow.
24-21.
Well, it's closer to what they once again, Fox is saying 3.5 for the Rams. Again, same as the Bills here.
It would shock me to see Carson cover. I think, here's the thing, man. The Rams defense didn't get tested last week, really. And here, the Rams defense didn't get tested on offense. And they still allowed David Montgomery to run for over 100 yards with Andy Dalton, the quarterback. I like Andy Dalton personally, but he's not better than Justin Fields. The Rams, I think, with a more overall better team versus Indy, because Jonathan Taylor and Carson Wentz with those weapons, there's more things you have to defend. I think the Rams are going to have a tougher game this week, but they'll still pull it out. Okay.
All right, well, that's our take on that game. But moving on to the next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one because we're either seeing a tease from the Eagles or we're going to see a tease from the Niners because these two teams had some interesting thing. Obviously, the Niners were banged up last year with injuries.
And they still are this year.
Yeah, but they got their quarterback, though. They got Garoppolo right now. We'll see where that goes.
But they've lost every running back besides third-round pick Trey Sermon and 6th round pick, Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with them, but the Eagles, obviously very impressive last week against the Atlanta Falcons. I actually thought the Atlanta Falcons were going to blow them out, and ended up going backwards. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a test to see if the Eagles are for real with Justin Hurts. Yeah, Hurts. So it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna say the 49ers by a touchdown. But I could see it going either way right now because this one's really interesting. I'm not sure where this one goes. I'm gonna think this might be a low scoring. I think this might be actually 14-7.
I'm gonna go opposite you on that. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think you're looking probably like 35 to 31. It's going to be a 5-point swing. I'm going to go with the 49ers with the thought that Trey Sermon emerges as a stud. But if Sermon's not the answer, I wouldn't be shocked to see Philadelphia pull this game off in an upset. Trey Sermon brings an element that Atlanta didn't have last week. Frank, I don't know how much you know about Trey Sermon. Yeah. He was the Ohio State receiver, and he's Ohio State running back, and he's very talented as a receiving back. I could see Sermon being an issue for that Philly defense. They only faced Mike Davis, who wasn't really a multifaceted player last week.
So you got the Niners though.
The 49ers, so yeah.
49ers are at 3, according to Fox here. So that's where we're at with them. Alrighty. Okay, so the next game. Oh, God, here we go. New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. Not much to say about the New Orleans Saints because I'm pissed off at them right now. I think they're going to probably easily beat Carolina. Sam Darnold, I have been very critical of Sam Darnold. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. And he didn't really show that much against the Jets. Didn't show that much against his old team, the Jets. But again, the Jets suck right now.
Statistics would say you're wrong, Frankie.
I don't think so. I don't see it.
Pro Football Focus, how they give out their grades for the week at position.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus had Sam Darnold graded as the best quarterback last week across the board. I don't know what he did to be graded that well. I thought he played a good game.
Well, apparently they didn't watch the Packers game because we got they got 5 touchdown passes against us. So I don't know where they're figuring that one out.
So I think the fact of it is as well, Frank, is Jameis did have 5 touchdowns, but he didn't do a whole bunch yardage-wise. A lot of that was actually, hey, let's get the ball to Kamara or good field position on defense. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything bad against Jameis. I like Jameis, but Sam did well. And the Jets defense, and I know you're a Jets fan. You can say it because I know it's your second.
Well, I mean, they've sucked so badly now.
I like the Jets this year. The Jets defense actually looks pretty good, and the Jets defense held Christian McCaffrey in check pretty well. And Sam Darnold faced a good defense last week, and it's weird for me to have learned to actually have to give credit where credit's due to teams, but the Jets are not as bad as they used to be. But no, Who do you got here? You have New Orleans.
I got New Orleans winning 28-7.
Okay, bold strategy, Frank. I'm gonna go New Orleans, but it's going to be 17-14 final.
17-14 final.
It's gonna be a close game. I think McCaffrey at any point in time can break game open. I think Darnold can manage and do a little bit better than managing. I really think Carolina will be in this game. I think New Orleans still has the talent. I like Jameis. Jameis has the ability to throw for 500 yards in a given day. But I could see the Panthers' defense looked good last week. They have 2 strong young corners. We'll call this a close game, I'm going to say within 3 points, but we'll eke it out some more.
I mean, they got him at 3.5, New Orleans, so.
So I'm not even looking at the Fox thing over here, and I'm pretty much in the wheelhouse where Fox is judging this points-wise. That's impressive.
So, yeah, the Fox is on your side, apparently. So, but yeah, next we have the Cincinnati Bengals, aka the Bengals, against the Chicago Bears. I think the Bengals will probably win. I think it will be probably a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be that impressive of a game. I think it's probably going to be like a 17-14 final for the Bengals. Obviously the game with them last week against the Vikings went into overtime, literally till the end. I think it could go that way again in overtime. I could see this going to an overtime possibly as well. I don't think this is going to be that high scoring. I don't really trust the Bears.
We are not on the same page today, huh, Frank?
That's the point. I don't see the Bears. The Bears got blown out like in the last game, and I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think the Bears right now, they got the quarterback issue. They don't know what they want to start, and but we'll see. But I got the Bengals.
So it's funny. I agree with you. I think we've agreed on all the points, but we disagree on how we think it's going to be known. I think until the Bears get serious and start Justin Fields, the Bears are a non-factor. I think that said, David Montgomery's going to have a good day this week again. He'll have at least one touchdown. Tyler Boyd, I think. And I think, Frank, if I'm not mistaken, do you have him in our league, Tyler Boyd?
Do I? Oh, yeah. Wait. Do I? No, I don't.
I couldn't remember if you have him or not, but Tyler Boyd, I think, is going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown this week. I think Cincinnati's going to blow them out, and I think it's going to be 28-10 final, or 28-14 final. We'll give them 2 touchdowns to Chicago.
Okay.
But I'm going to go 28-14. Cincinnati doubles them up.
And, okay, so now the spread actually disagrees with both of us. They actually...
The spread's got Chicago as a favorite.
Chicago, 2.5.
That's insane.
2.5.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, I know that's what it is, but I'm saying no way I would ever bet on Chicago minus points.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. I mean, like I said, I have it close, but I think the Bengals, I don't see the Bears winning this game.
I think the Bengals are going to blow them out.
Yeah. Regardless, we both still think the Bengals are going to win.
Yeah.
So they'll lose money regardless.
I don't think we've disagreed on the game yet, and that's not like us. 9 years later, look at us. We're getting along.
Yep.
What do we got next here, Frank?
Okay, so next we have... Oh, now we're getting into the 405 games. So next we got the Atlanta Falcons against the, sadly, champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is the first lopsided spread, by the way. They got the Bucs at 12.5, which doesn't surprise me because I think it's probably going to be a blowout. I mean, if the Falcons got blown out by the Eagles, I can't see how the frig Tampa Bay doesn't blow them out. I got them probably 28, or actually no, 30. I thought 30 to like maybe 30 to 3, right? A Buccaneer.
So I've got something different here, and I'm not gonna go against it. I'm not gonna say that Atlanta wins here, but Atlanta's gonna cover that spread this week.
So
I'm gonna say it's 30 to 24. Tampa Bay wins.
So yeah, the one spread that's lopsided you think is not going to work out.
Well, so the reasoning behind that, and follow me on this. I've gotten very heavy this year. I think it's Rotoballer is the website. Rotoballer actually releases every week a list of wide receivers expected to see cornerback cover and who they are and how good they are. The best Tampa corner last week was Sean Murphy-Bunting, who actually broke his elbow. Jamel Dean was the guy who allowed 40 points against last week to Amari Cooper. Do you know who is expected to see Jamel Dean this week?
Who?
Calvin Ridley, who had a bad game last week against one of the better corners in the league in Darius Slay. I think Calvin Ridley is going to go for 2 touchdowns this week, and I think they're going to finally get to kind of show off their new toy in Kyle Pitts, because they targeted tight ends pretty frequently last week against Dallas as well. So I think Atlanta's going to be able to score, but that defense is just too porous for me. Tampa's going to still eke it out, but I think they're going to be closer than that 12-point spread says.
All right. So the next game we have is the Minnesota Vikings at the Arizona Cardinals. It's probably going to be a based game. I could see it going either way, but I got the Cardinals winning. I think this one might be maybe a touchdown game. 2013.
Okay. I'm going to go against the grain again. I'm going to go with the Cardinals 35-14.
Whoa, so blowout. Okay.
Arizona blew out a good Tennessee team. Arizona's team was able to stifle the run.
I know it hurt my fantasy league too. Don't remind me.
I don't necessarily know if they're going to stop Dalvin Cook the way they did King Derek, but man, that Arizona offense is running on all cylinders, and I would not be shocked to see Arizona really just lay a hurting. I'm not, and you'll be the happiest.
They need to get the running game going though. To help my fan. Yeah, there was no running game. They had no touchdowns.
Dude, you have Chase Edmonds though, correct?
Yeah, I got the 2 Cardinals guys, but
I told you to draft the second in case of emergency.
Yeah, I got both of them. I got both of them.
15 points this week, and I think Chase Edmonds is going to be close to 18 to 20 this week.
I lost by, I think, 8 fantasy points. Because I think it was like 97 to 91 or something was the final. So if he would have gotten one of them, would have gotten one, or any of them. Like, I was lacking touchdowns on my fantasy, so.
Hey, man, if you don't like them, I'll trade you some players.
So.
But no, yeah. I think we're both going to Arizona. I think Arizona turns it up again. I have no faith in Minnesota. They are embarrassing. Their only good players, Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins can suck a pencil.
Yeah, and also the spread has them at 4 for the Cardinals.
I'm going to go well above 4 on that.
Yeah, you know. Yep. So, there we go. Okay, so now the next game we have is... sorry, the page was down. Okay, so next we have the Las Vegas Raiders against the Pittsburgh Steelers, your your favorite non-Bills team. In the game here, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defense, as usual, always looks good and solid, but the offense is a little shaky. They got a spark when the Bills, we talked about this earlier, when they did that goofy 4th down stupid play. And they had the block punt, obviously, for a touchdown. The Raiders looked pretty impressive against the Ravens. It seemed like they had the win in the bag, and then they just were like, we don't want it. And then they got it back because Lamar Jackson fumbled, and then they won for real. So it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do this week. This one's probably going to be the more interesting one because I just don't know where the Steelers exactly are at because their offense is kind of like, you know, though. I mean, the Bills were doing really good on defense, but then the second half it was just like, you know, okay. They capitalized on some errors from Buffalo. I don't know. This one's tough for me to pick. I'm just going to lead in the belief that Steelers always seem to be really coached and they always seem to improve, and I just don't know where the Raiders are at yet. I'm going to say the Steelers are probably going to win, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it might be like 13-3.
This will be the first time that we go against each other, Frank.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the underdogs here because I was really impressed by them last week, and Derek Carr always finds a way to put up good games in weird situations. I'm going to say the Raiders beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers are frauds. And I think the Raiders eke it out. It's not going to be a pretty game. It's going to be like 17-14 final. But I'm going to go Raiders here.
Yeah. I just don't know what to see from both of these teams just yet, and I have to evaluate after this game. This is like a trap game, really.
This is one of the most interesting matchups because you don't know how to believe either team.
This is really like one of those trap games where you just don't know right now.
Yeah, if I was a professional bettor, I'm avoiding this game completely.
Yeah. And the Steelers are 6.5 favorites, according to Fox, too.
Okay,
but
maybe I'm not avoiding this game. I'm taking the Raiders because I think they'll cover 6.5 for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a trap game. It's a trap game. Not sure. So next we got the New England Patriots against the Jets, New York Jets. Well, with this game, the Patriots are not the Patriots anymore, so there is believable that they are mere humans now. The Jets, though, we still don't exactly know where they're at. They just were last week. And the Patriots, it felt like they could have won, but they didn't because they were kind of a little cautious in that game, it felt like, because they only lost by a point. I mean, can't get any closer than that, but I don't know. I think it could go either way. I'm just going to take a safe bet on Patriots here and say that they win. It probably will be very similar to last week's game with them. It will probably be like a 14-13 final. I think it will be a 1-2 point favorite type game outcome. It just seems like they just don't know where they're at yet. I think Bill Belichick's still trying to find where his new quarterback is. And the Jets just don't, they're obviously trying to find their new quarterback as well. But obviously Bill Belichick is the more experienced coach. So I'm just going to bet on that.
See, I think you're right on the money here, Frank. It's one of the weirder situations.
I'm going more with the Patriots just because of Bill Belichick, but it could go either way.
And that's it. Is Mac Jones is a very system quarterback. We said that when we reviewed our tape on the draft this year. I flat out said if Mac doesn't go to San Fran or New England, he's not going to have a pro career. But if you put him in either of those spots, he has the chance to shine. Is one of the best in the league. He's a very system-style quarterback. And then he comes out last week and he has a great game as a rookie. You don't expect someone to come out of their first game and throw over 200 yards and I think 1 or 2 touchdowns. But Zach Wilson himself looked pretty good as well. If we're looking at overall, I guess, on paper, I kind of want to lean towards the Jets. But I think at the end of the day, that Bill will out-coach Robert Saleh. And I think Robert Saleh is a good coach. I think Bill out-coaches him, and they do eke this one out. Like you said, like 14-10. It's not going to be a very high-scoring game.
Yeah. And New England are the favorites by 6 points, according to Fox, too. So there's that. So the next game we got on the list here is the interesting one because of the drama involving the team. The Houston Texans at the Cleveland Browns. So we got Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback. Watson is out for whoever God knows because he's never going to probably get traded this season. And we got Cleveland Browns who look solid. They look like a team that could possibly be a contender for the playoffs, just like they were. They were obviously in the playoffs last year. They took it right to They lost, but they were the one team that lost that actually looked good because they were playing Kansas City. They were playing Kansas City and they were playing the best, and they had a lead I think most of the game they actually had the lead, if I'm not mistaken. I think Kansas City just kind of, did their thing at the end and just outpowered them at the end there. But, for this one, Houston did win, but they played a very rebuilding Jacksonville team that probably isn't going to do that well. And I'm going to go with Cleveland. The Cleveland went up against the best and almost beat them again. They almost beat them in the playoffs. People forget about that. But I think Cleveland will win. I think it's probably going to be a blowout. I think 28-3. Cleveland gets it out and it gets the W here.
I'm going to go blowout. I don't know if I'm going to go that little points for Houston. I think the wheels come off Houston for sure, but I feel like after last week, I want to give them a few more points. I'm going to go, I hate saying this because I don't want to ever predict this number, but I'm going to go Houston 40, or Cleveland 40, Houston 13.
Oh, interesting. You got the 40 bird on them.
Yeah, man. Houston is not as good as they showed last week.
Yeah, because they played a weak Jacksonville team.
Yes. They played a weak Jacksonville team. I don't even know if I'd say the Jacksonville weak. I don't know if I trust Urban Meyer as the coach.
Yeah.
But no, I think Houston's going to be able to rely on their tight ends early and often, and I think that the tight ends are going to be a big fantasy point this week. But outside of that, I don't trust their aging running backs. I don't trust Brandon Cooks. I could see Cleveland beating up on them hard.
Yep. And also the spread has Cleveland at 12.5. But, yeah, I definitely think it's safe to say they'll get past that.
It's the first time we both covered a spread together, Frank. Proud of us.
Yeah. But speaking of Jacksonville, that's actually the next game here on the list. We got the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So case in point, I know we've disagreed on this right here, but I think, like I said, I don't think Jacksonville, they're a rebuilding weak team, I think. The Denver Broncos, I think, are going to be better this year because I do like the quarterback. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback. I think he's well, I've said it before. I say he's better than Darnold, but I think they're going to win this game. I think it's going to be an impressive game. I think Denver probably gets it done. I think they're going to probably get 30 points. I think it might be a 30-14 game for the Denver Broncos. I think Jacksonville are still trying to find themselves, and I don't think they're going to have a good team overall, anyways, this year. But we'll see. But I think for sure Denver wins this game.
So I guess I'm going to go to this. I'm not saying that Jacksonville's not rebuilding because they absolutely are. They have a lot of talent there, though. The receivers, Chenault, Chark, Marvin Jones Jr., James Robinson last year was a top 10 running back. Trevor Lawrence is a first overall pick for a reason. But the problem
But he has to pan out. We still have to see if he's going to pan out, but he's only played one game so far.
He still looked good last week, but you can only look as good as your offense coordinator is going to put you in that situation. When Urban Meyer's playing that awful, play calling that bad, and then Denver's going to sit here, and I don't think it would have mattered if you had Drew Luck or Teddy Bridgewater in last week. Denver's what they were supposed to be last year. They're firing on all cylinders. I originally thought last year Denver had the chance to go 11-5. The defense is strong. Bridgewater looked more than competent in the role. Melvin Gordon looked like he got his spark back last week. I think Denver's going to shellac them. I do. I think it's going to be, I'll go 30-17. It'll be over 13 points. We'll see slowly but surely you're going to start seeing something out of Jacksonville, but it's not this week. Denver wins.
Yep. And the spread for the Fox, Denver is at 6. So, yeah.
Perfect.
So next we have the Dallas Cowboys at the unfortunately LA Chargers. The Cowboys looked good last week. They lost, but they looked good again like Cleveland. I still think Cleveland did a little better than them, but they still did good against the Bucks, but they lost because Brady got the ball up last, and that's why they lost. Chargers didn't really look good in their win against the Washington Redacted, but they still won. But I got Dallas winning because, again, I think Dallas on paper looks better. And, again, the Chargers are still trying to find themselves, I think, with Hurts. Obviously, good quarterback, but I think the Cowboys with Prescott, the way they played against the Bucs, I think is going to give them the win here. And I think Dallas will probably win 27-17.
Number in our head, but a different team, Frank. I'm not saying anything bad about Dallas. Actually, I liked what Dak did when he came back. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are going to be one of the most dangerous combinations in the league. The Chargers last week did a good job of holding running backs in check. Antonio Gibson didn't do much against them. J.D. McKissic only saw 2 carries. And the Chargers played very well against one of the top 3 defenses in the league in Washington. Tampa was supposed to have a good defense, and they looked feeble. They looked like they were rusty. I think that the Chargers eke this one out. They're going to score 27. Dallas will score 24. I think it's going to go 27-24. Chargers barely take this one, but I think this game's a lot closer than most people would expect.
Well, Fox agrees with you on Chargers. They have them at 3.5.
Which would still there be, with the way that I just called that, Dallas would win via spread.
Yeah.
And that sounds correct. I would take Dallas as spread. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
But I really do. I think Herbert is the real deal at quarterback there. Herbert didn't have a bad game because he's not good. Herbert had a bad game because he played one of the best front sevens in the game with Chase Young and Payne and all those guys. Yeah.
Washington's defense is very good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
The next game on the list here, because I'm just going in order of how it's shown here. We have the Tennessee Titans against the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, Tennessee didn't look very good last week. Seattle looked very impressive. And based on what I've seen, that's the only thing I can say. Maybe Tennessee rebounds. Maybe they do better with King Henry. King Henry didn't look that good, obviously, last week. But right now, I have to go with what I'm seeing right now. And I think Seattle looked a lot better than them. And so I'm going to say Seattle probably wins. I'm going to probably say 28-24, and that's probably being nice, because I think Tennessee is going to look a lot better this week, but I still think Seattle gets it done.
I agree. So, this was one that was tough for me. I looked back at how Seattle was last week. Seattle's secondary is not good. And to me, I think that means that Tannehill's going to look better this week for sure.
Julio Jones will look better.
I'm not a huge Julio fan. I think A.J. Brown's going to be the guy who really steps out here. But I guess my issue is I'm trying to look at it and go, okay, do I have to think that Derrick Henry's going to have a better matchup? And the answer is no, because for the fact that Jonathan Taylor had a good fantasy day, Jonathan Taylor on the ground didn't do much of anything. Jonathan Taylor's day came from 6 or 7 receptions last week. And here's the thing. Derrick Henry's not a receiving back. He never has been, never will be. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think it's 23-20 Seattle. But I think you start seeing that Tennessee motor start running again. They're going to realize, oh, we're in danger and we're 0-2. And that's going to be an open division. But I'll go Seattle 23-20.
Yeah, their division will be very interesting because, if the Titans don't do anything, you got 3 other teams. Jacksonville's rebuilding. Houston, we don't know where they're at. And Indianapolis is still. Yeah, and that's still shaky too. So yeah, if the Titans don't get it together, it will be a wide open division for sure.
Anybody's division.
Yeah.
And on to Sunday Night Football, Frank?
Yep, this would be Sunday Night Football then. So we got the defending AFC champions, had been the Super Bowl champions the year before, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. I'm going to say it right now, Baltimore looked shaky. They could have won the game last week and they blew it in overtime. And they just don't look very well right now. It's kind of weird because I thought Lamar and those guys were going to come out pretty good against the Raiders, and they just felt at times they just didn't feel they felt like they were in a funk. It just didn't feel like they really were there, and they had a chance to win after the Raiders blew it with that interception in overtime, and they just never felt in sync. And then the one play he throws it almost was fumbled, but it was incomplete. And then the next play, Lamar gets sacked. Like he's rolling out and waiting, hesitating to make the decision. Gets sacked, loses the ball, and then the Raiders, of course, do their thing afterwards. They look very much in a funk. They don't seem like they're focused. That's just what it felt like to me from that first game. Kansas City, they're they're battle tested. And they're battle ready. It seems like Cleveland took it to them. They had the lead most of the game, and when Kansas City got in that mode, they came back and from behind and they won that game. And the Ravens don't have that. I don't see how they beat Kansas City here. Kansas City is just on a totally different level right now. I think they're probably the best team in the AFC right now. At least as of right now, they're the best AFC team until something changes. And I think Kansas City will win. I think it will be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a fun NBC rating day for NBC, as I do not.
It's in Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's in Baltimore, and I think Kansas City's going to blow them out. I think
I'm saying at least the ratings in Baltimore won't be very high.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore fans will be throwing their remotes to the screen at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think they're going to put up 40 on them. I think it's going to be a 40-10 victory. Kansas City gets it done pretty easily.
So do you want the explanation of what happened last week for Baltimore, Frank?
What about the fumble?
No. When you said that they didn't look like they're gelling.
Yeah, they didn't look it. I know Lamar had the COVID, though, but I don't know if that was...
I don't think it's got anything to do with the COVID, Frank. This is the thing. I have been so anti-Lamar, and it's not that I don't like Lamar and don't want to see him succeed, but I've said this forever. Lamar is not a passing quarterback. Lamar is a running quarterback.
Running first and then pass on necessity.
Yeah, but that's it. So here's the thing. Lamar Jackson thrives as a passing quarterback when you have to protect him as a runner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened against the Titans a couple years ago. Well, when he won that MVP and everyone, the Tennessee Titans exposed them for everybody to do the blueprint. When you go after the run, then you freaking they covered it perfectly, and
but here's the thing,
ruined it.
even up to last year, when you had Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbin in the backfield, you still have to respect the running backs, and you can stack. Baltimore can stack it with Lamar and a running back there. You have to respect it. You've now lost 3 starting running backs in Baltimore. You don't have to respect that. You don't have to really care that hard about Tyson Williams. So now you can really stack your team and go, okay, man, we'll play quarterback contain. We'll cut off the ends. You can't squeak out the end as equal as pass on us. And it doesn't go as well. It's exactly what Buffalo did in the playoffs against them. He's one of the most electric football players there is. He's not a very good passing quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's it. When someone forces his hand, he can't take it. I'm with you on this. I think Kansas City's going to just pummel them into submission this week. It's not even going to be close. Kansas City in a rout.
Yeah.
Baltimore's going 0-2, and the fans are going to keep making excuses.
Well, what do you think of for a score?
37-14.
Oh, okay.
I'll give them 2 touchdowns. Lamar always finds a way to get 2 touchdowns, whether it be one on the ground, one in the air. But I don't think that defense will get tired, especially if Lamar's going to keep playing the way he has. Kansas City's going to own this game.
Yeah. Fox is being nice to them because they got them at a 3.5 for Kansas City. So I don't see that at all. I think it's going to be a blowout. So, yeah.
And on to Frank, I believe this is your team on there?
Yeah, Monday Night Football. Oh boy, let's get to this one. Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. My team, go Pack, go Green Bay Packers. So last week was a train wreck. I watched the whole game. I suffered through it. It was just a pain to watch. The first half, we had the ball on offense a total of 5 minutes, which is unacceptable. Jameis Winston drove our defense crazy. Our defense was crap in the first half. Our defense was terrible. Terrible.
You're losing one of those guys this week.
Yeah. I know. Smith is out for 3 weeks. Yeah. So, God, it was terrible. It was bad. I watched the whole game, and I can tell you right now, from watching the whole game and seeing everything that happened, it was a mercy rule. Now, at halftime, we had a chance, because there was only 2 touchdowns. We were going into halftime, we had, they only had 2 touchdowns on us, and we were getting the ball back. But then Rodgers threw that interception with it right into the red zone, and that was pretty much it at that point. The Saints just, and we were on neutral territory. It was in Jacksonville, and they still couldn't do anything. There were more Packers fans at that game because it was on a neutral site, even though the Saints were the home team because they couldn't play in their home stadium. And we still couldn't do anything. We had the crowd in our hands, and they still couldn't do anything. There's just nothing going on. Aaron Rodgers tried to make some stuff work, but then the pick happened, and then I don't know where he threw it on the second one. He went deep, and it was just to nowheresville. And I will say there should be challenges on the roughing the passer, because there was a roughing the passer play that should not have been roughing the passer. He did not hit him in the chest, or he hit him in the chest. He didn't hit him in the head or anything, and that would have been an interception. And they talked about that on the replay. Like, that was some bull crap, and I've been saying that for 5 years. I'll say that. It would have probably changed the game, but at least would have given us a chance to do something. But that didn't do anything either, because again, they made the bad call. Referees made a bad call on that. But yeah, Packers looked terrible. Lions, they didn't look that really good. I mean, they did better than us in terms of touchdowns, but they didn't do that well. And we're back in Green Bay. This is a lesson, and I will say this right now. This is a lesson for people that don't play at least one game or at least one quarter in preseason. For starters, do it. Because nobody on Green Bay that was a starter played a preseason game at all. And this is why it happened. I do believe this was not a representation of the Green Bay Packers this year. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to I don't know if we're going to destroy the Lions, but I know we're going to beat them pretty good. I think we're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns. I think we're going to win 31. I'd say 31-14. I think we beat them. I think Aaron Rodgers gets back to himself. I don't think this is Aaron Rodgers tapping out to Green Bay or what everyone else saying. I don't agree with that. I think it was just a bad game. The defense was killed right in the first half, and that was kind of the mercy rule. Like we said, 5 minutes of total offense in the first half alone is not going to win you any games. It's not going to get you anywhere. And I got the Packers again, 31-14. And Aaron Rodgers is going to look good. And, we're going to get back to normal. It's going to be back to normal. It happened before. I know a lot of people say, oh, blowout, blowout, blowout. Well, you know what? In 2003, the Buffalo Bills blew out the New England Patriots in 2003. And guess what happened? The New England Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl that year. So week 1 is not a blowout and doesn't necessarily mean an indication of what happens throughout the whole season. So that's what I got to say to that.
All right. Well, you know what, Frank? You know what they say? Not all teams are created equal. And Sunday at sacrifice for you, Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's actually Monday.
Monday at sacrifice for you, Aaron Rodgers. You know you don't have a chance of beating me. Sorry, I just wanted to do some Mojo promo. I'm totally joking, Frank. I pick jokes with you all the time with Green Bay, but let's be fair here. Rodgers isn't washed. Whatever happened last week was a weird circumstance. I don't think that Detroit's going to lay down and die. Their defense sucks. Detroit's defense sucks. but I could see their offense holding their own here. I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as you think. I think you're right around Green Bay. I can see Green Bay hanging 31 this week. I can see 31 to 21. DeAndre Swift has looked good. Jamal Williams, you know him very well, former Packer. He had a very good game last week. You're losing players across the secondary left and right. I think Goff is better at protecting the football, but I still think Green Bay is going to beat them by time.
All right, and also the spread does have the Packers at 11.5.
Yeah, it's not going to change it. I'm still going to go with 31-21.
All right, so that are all the games. That was the last one. That was Monday Night Football. Pending, of course, anything changes with COVID-related, because we had a lot of that last year, but I don't think that's going to happen this year, though, as much. But, yeah. So, yeah, that, I believe, is it.
Absolutely, and, I mean, we will be taking this, Frank. I'm going to share this, at least, on our Fantasy Beast Twitter and our Fantasy Beast Facebook page for you.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for having me on.
Yep. So, yeah, guys, this is it. Comment, rate. If you like this video or my videos, please subscribe. Hit that bell for all the latest contents, because that's how YouTube is. Gotta hit the bell for all the latest contents, because this is the YouTube's
Ding, ding, ding. Watch them pray.
have a rhythm going on here. But, yeah, make sure to also check out the Rainy 48s, Spread Those Wings, and his fantasy football podcast.
Fantasy Beasts, and where to find them on Facebook, Fantasy Beasts FB Pod, and on Twitter at Fantasy Beasts FB, or Spread Those Wings, Chicken Wing Podcast. We are on YouTube. We are on the Facebooks, the Twitters, and the Instagrams.
Yep, absolutely. So that is it. That's about it, guys. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace.